Oh, ow. Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Tiffany Unpacks in Portland. Today we are going to unpack board games, Seven Wonders Belfort Heartland box number 1. And Ichi is very enthusiastically working on her chewy, so that's the noise in the background. And I'm going to very enthusiastically open this because you know what? Do you know what? This is the last box, everyone. I'm wearing my corgi onesie to celebrate. Let's do this. Oh yeah. Sweet little box. It's the last box. Last box ever. Woo! Not ever. There's still boxes in the office, but they're not board game boxes. This is the last board game box. Oh. Right, let's get to this. Okay, so first off, on top, we have some magazines, which are called Strategy and Tactics. It actually might just be a game. I don't know. Special edition historical game. I think it's a game. In country, the Vietnam War. Yeah. Complete historical game. This is one of Steve's war games. I don't know anything about it. Except for it costs $50. And then he got it from the Games of Berkeley.
It's a magazine.
Oh, it's a magazine. But it says, mister, that it includes a complete historical game. It's a magazine that includes a complete historical. And that's all I know. Isn't that interesting, folks? Okay. On to the other fillers. So this is straightforward. It's another pre-made Magic 30 card deck. I was looking for easy stuff. This is gonna be a long episode. Alright, I can tell you right now. Okay, we have Hive Pocket. So I really like Hive. It's a 2-player game where you have these really nice weighty tiles and you're trying to gain control over each other's bees, which kind of sounds suggestive. But I used to have Hive the like regular size, and then I found the Pocket version and I was just like, why don't I own the Pocket version? It's slightly smaller, still just as good of the tiles are the same really nice quality. It's just slightly more travel friendly and it comes with a nice sash. So I have the travel version. Very much like Hive. If you like 2-player games and you haven't played Hive, give Hive a shot. We have our first copy of Hanaby. So this is the one that I first bought and fell in love with, and then we went and got the French copy with the square cards. So this is going to move to the Family Game Day box. So that's gonna go there. So we have a copy in that library. Next up we have Eggs and Empires, which is a game where so first it's 2 to 6 players, takes 20-30 minutes. In the game, everybody has the same cards. Everybody has the same like hand of cards, and you pick one card to play it, and you're trying to get eggs, but sometimes you might not want the eggs that are out because they'll explode. Sometimes you want them because they won't explode and they'll be worth points. Exploding ones are worth negative points. Eggs and Empires. I've only played it like 2-3 times. There's like pub rules and like you play to a certain number, and I've never actually played it that many times. So I think we're probably gonna give it one more play, and then it might find a new home, because I personally just haven't really been super impressed. The art is gorgeous and I like the overall concept, but yeah, I haven't had the desire to like play a full multi-round game. Usually I just play one round of it and I'm good. So there you go. 5-minute review of that. Next up we have Fidelity Oz. Fidelity Oz is a game for 1 to 4 players, so you can play solo on this. And you are trying to, there's like a town with different buildings, and you place people in those buildings to try and get different like sets and positions. It takes about 30 minutes. It's a pretty straightforward card game. I like Fidelity Oz. I had a preview copy, and we played it and we enjoyed it, and then Steve actually won a copy at a game thing, so that was super awesome, nice surprise. Yeah, it's a play a card, do what it says thing, and then you have like secret goals, and the first person to hit to achieve secret goals to the point where they get a certain number of points wins the game. So it's like area management sort of set collection. Yeah, this video is going great so far. I hope everybody's enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. Can you tell it's midnight? Just curious. Okay, Fidelity Oz. It's designed by Jason Kotarski and Philip Duberry. And I do like this. I know I'm not super enthusiastic right now, but I like Fidelity Oz, and I played the solo game once. I did like the solo game, and yeah, this is a game that I would happily play again. Okay, next up, The Great Heartland Hauling Company. This is designed by Jason Kotarski, published by Dice Hate Me Games, and in this game you are running a trucking company, and in the trucking company it's pickup and delivery. The board is actually just 9 cards laid out in a 3x3 grid, and the goods are pretty straightforward, and they're represented by like cubes, and they're colored cubes, and you pick them up and you put them on your little truck card, and then you take them and you deliver to get money. It's a very straightforward, small, pocketish size pickup and delivery game. It's for 2 to 4 players. Takes 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah, it's a straightforward pickup and delivery game that honestly could be, I mean, the box is pretty size. The box is pretty full. I wouldn't say this is like a pocket-sized game, but it's definitely a travel-friendly pickup and delivery. I like the fact that there's no board, you just play with cards. Steve and I played it on our smallish coffee table one night, and that was totally enough space. So yeah, it doesn't take up a huge table space, doesn't take up a huge amount of space in your bag. This is a pickup and delivery game that I could conceivably see traveling with, to just have a good, solid pickup game to play with. Kind of along the same lines, though it's totally not anything like it, we have Scott Alm's Harbor. This is designed by Scott Alms and is published by TC Minstrel. It's a resource management game and a worker placement game. You have one worker and you place him in different places in this harbor. And when you place him, he gets to do the actions in those places. And you can you use that to build. You go to different actions to get resources in your personal stuff, and then you trade in those resources to get money, and then you use those monies to buy places in the harbor to become your own little personal places in the harbor. It's 1 to 4 players. I've played the solo variant on this. There's like a dummy that you play with in the solo variant. I was not super impressed with the solo variant. I wasn't like bored with it, but I preferred Fidelity Oz solo variant, if we're gonna be honest. This is 30 minutes to half an hour, depends on the number of players you're playing with. Yeah, I enjoy Harbor. I like how they do the resource management. I like how they do the worker placement. I like how you can do some strategy planning to do some chaining and stuff like that, and it's a smaller form factor with a lot of like spread. When you play it, it grows to a decent size and it feels heavier than it is for just a card game. It feels heavier than it should for a card game. There we go. I have a thing for games like that they start small and then they grow in size, both in complexity and in like actual physical table size. I don't know, games that do that bring me joy, especially if they do it well and in a way that makes sense. And Harbor is one of those games where I feel like that happens. And also Scott Alms is just a designer that I really like. So yeah. Isle of Trains. Isle of Trains is a game that is designed by Seth Jaffe and Dan Keltner. And it is a train game, so you know I honestly had to get it. It's one of the Dice Hate Me Games rabbits, and it's for 2 to 4 players. It's kind of a pickup and delivery game, except for you're not really going anywhere. Everybody has trains in front of them, and the cards are multi-purpose that you have. So the card can either be like a resource, it can be used as currency, or it can be used as like an actual train part. And so there's a lot of options in this game, and so this game is a lot more complex than a card game. It says it takes about 45 minutes, and it takes about 45 minutes even for like a 2-player game, because this game has depth. You're trying to put things, you're trying to build up a train to put goods into your train so that you can complete contracts, and the contracts are what you do, what you complete to get points. And the really fun thing on this is not only are every card is multi-purpose, but you can put goods in, and it's encouraged that you put goods in other people's cars because you get a bonus if you load somebody else's train, which, you know, can be an innuendo when you're playing, and probably will be. So I love trains. I love trains. I love trains. It's very similar. I love trains. All right, some more filler that we have in here. We have some more of the Magic pre-made decks. These ones are like older. Jeez, when are these from? I think these are this year's. These are the 2015 ones, and the ones that I unpacked earlier in another box was like the 2014 or 2013 ones. Yeah, I have a lot of these. Maybe I should play some Magic. Who knows? Carnival, this is another Dice Hate Me game. Like missing. I got Carnival a long time ago. Carnival is for 2 to 4 players, and you are building a carnival. So the thing that I like about this game is you're a carnival manager, and you're trying to complete 4 of the 5 rides. So you're trying to be the first one to finish your rides. The way that you do that is you just get 4 of each type on the thing. So you can kind of pick and choose what you're trying to go for. I don't think are you trying to get 4 or are you trying to get 3? It's been a while since I played this. Yeah, building 4 out of your 5 carnival rides. Okay, so I was right. So I really like the art style in this. I really like the theme. It just kind of speaks to me. The thing that I really liked is it's a roll. You roll 3 dice, and then you pick 2 of those dice to pick actions. And so this is the action board. So you can, like, if you get 2 ones, you can draw twice. It's a twist on the whole roll and then decide your fate, because when you roll, you're rolling 3 dice, and then you pick whichever 2 you want, and then you can get these tickets, and you can use these tickets to re-roll, to add or subtract a pip, or to block a player from doing something. So it's a set collection game. You're basically just trying to get 4 of a kinds. Once one's completed, it can't be undid. It's a very straightforward game. You roll, you try and do 2 things. You use your tickets and whatnot to make good strategic decisions. Yeah, it's a light filler. Takes about, what do you recommend? 20 to 60 minutes. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I would say probably 20 minutes per player. I don't know. I took it camping once. We played it by headlamp. It was fun. Then we have One Night Ultimate Werewolf. This is in the Daybreak box, but we actually have, I have all of One Night Werewolf in here, so I have the base game and the expansion. I like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I prefer it significantly more than the base Werewolf game. It's for 3 to 7 players. It does take 10 minutes because it's timed with teaching and whatnot. I would say like 25 minutes. There's an app that you can get for it. I actually did a review of One Night Ultimate Werewolf that you can find by clicking the box or my face. But if you are a fan of hidden secret identity, lying, bluffing, deduction games with no player elimination, check out Werewolf. I kind of like the concept of Werewolf, or check out One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I like the general concept of Werewolf, but I do not like the player elimination, because with my luck, I'm always eliminated super early, and then I just have to sit there for like the next 40 minutes and like bang my head against the table because people are making horrible decisions. But with this game, each game plays in like 5-10 minutes, and then you play a new one, and who is what changes every time. So Ted Alspach is the designer of this one, and he did a great job with this. I really, really like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. And you know, mostly because it's that kind of deduction, lie, backstabby without the player elimination. So there you go. This is the Belfort expansion. It's the expansion. We actually haven't played with this yet because I generally have a rule where I don't like to get expansions before I play a game like really thoroughly. This was given to me, which is why I have it, and we do like Belfort, the base game, so we maybe hopefully soon will have hit the point where we can start including this in our gameplay. Though now we have a whole new game group that we have to get used to playing Belfort, so we'll see. Innovation. Designed by Carl Chudyk. Innovation. This is the updated art edition by Yellow. I love Innovation. Remember how I was like, I love games that start small and then spread and then just have like intense strategy depth? That is Innovation. So Innovation is you are building, everybody is building like their own civilization, and you get innovations and you stack them. And then there's this really awesome mechanic where you spread the cards by sliding them to reveal icons, and then you can do different things based on the icon reveals, including interact with players. So there's player interaction if you want it, there's sandboxing if you really want it, and yeah, great, super strategic game that I'm really happy they did an art update, because the original edition game, which I believe you can still get a lot of places, it's like made with clip art. Like it's not a pretty game. Don't let that deter you from getting it. If you like strategy card games that have a lot of depth and strategy for what they are, which it's an hour-long game that takes that's for 2 to 4 players. Don't let the art on the original edition Innovation put you off. I actually had that edition and I played it and I loved it, and then when they came out with the new art edition, I got it and I gave that older edition to a coworker who liked it. But yeah, I'm really happy I have the updated art one. Don't get me wrong, but don't let the fact that this is really hard to get in this art stop you from trying Innovation. Just know that Innovation is heavy, all right? It's deceptively heavy. Next up we have Teal Fristol. I can never say your name, Teal. I'm sorry. Shadow Throne. This is this recently was sent out. It was a Kickstarter that I actually did preview review. You can click the box or link down below in the doobly-doo to see that. But it's for 3 to 5 players and half an hour to 45 minutes, 14 and up. It is a trick-taking game. And it is a trick-taking game that takes across, the whole story is like, there's 3 different power factions and they're all vying for power, and you can play cards to help like influence them, and at the end of the round you see which faction is currently in the lead, and then if you played cards of that type of faction, you score points according to that. But there's actual player interaction where cards that you play or your opponent plays on like this round can affect previous round's cards and also your opponent's cards, because you're playing, it's a political struggle game. So it's a trick-taking game, but it's not really a trick-taking game because you're not taking tricks, you're just trying to like get influence and boost influence so you can get points. So there's like suits and there's power in those suits, and there's definitely like, if I play blue and blue starts to dominate, like people are gonna start playing more blue cards. So it's a trick-taking game in that aspect with the suits and like pool and kind of how you can, yeah, anyway, it's really interesting. Just go watch the preview. Filler. Timeline. This one is the timeline diversity. I used to have quite a bit more timelines, but I actually got rid of them all and kept this one because it's diverse. It's basically all of the things in Timeline. Timeline is a game where you're just trying to figure out when things were invented. It's an educational game, which is why I think it's done so well. But there's cards, they're double-sided. Every card is like something. So for example, the invention of the camera, right? When did that happen? So one side doesn't have the date, it just says the invention of the camera and it has an image, and you're supposed to kind of figure out where in this timeline that's on the table does the card go, and you make a guess, and then you flip the card, and the other side has the date, and if you are correct, the card goes there and you're one step closer to winning, and if you're wrong, you discard the card and you draw a new card, where you will later have to guess where it goes. First player to get rid of all their cards wins the game. It's very straightforward. It's a lot of fun, and it's you learn a lot. They do a really good job of having diverse packs. There's several different types of timelines. There's basically a timeline for any interest at this point. So yeah, and I was holding the box sideways for half of that. You guys, you're all used to that. There we go. Next up is another 10 game. Who Am I? This is a hobby game. It's for kids. I know that, but I love this game. I got this game when I got it at Gen Con last year, and I think this is like the most played hobby game we own. But it's kind of like headbands, where you wear this, there's a headband and you wear it and you put a card on your forehead, and the card has a picture. So let's do one. All right, so I haven't seen this card, right? So I put it here, and then I have 10 little tokens, so I can ask questions, and you have to answer the questions, and they're just yes/no questions. And if you ever answer no, I have to discard one of my tokens, and if I lose all of my tokens, I lose. So I have, you know, however many wrong questions, and I have 10 wrong questions before I lose to try and figure out what I am. So I might start and be like, am I alive? Right? And then you'd say yes or no. So this is a lot of fun. I have had a ton of fun with this game. And the answer would have been no. I was not alive on that one. We've had a lot of fun with this game. Certain friends of mine there's some stress involved around this game. So yeah, but it's a game for kids that I have played with only adults, and we have had a blast with it every single time. So there you go. There's a lot in this box. String Railway. String Railway. String Railway is designed by Hisashi Hayashi. I am so sorry. String Railway is a train game, and it's a train game where your trains are pieces of string. So on your turn, you draw a station card. It's a tile. You put it anywhere on the table within the like borders, and then you play your trains to try and connect to stations, and that's the game. And then you get points based on the places your trains, your pieces of string go at the end of the game. Really straightforward. Shut Up and Sit Down did a review of this. I'll link it down below. It's a very interesting twist. I like that it doesn't follow the norm of a board game or a card game. You can play with string on any surface. You can add obstacles in the middle of the table if you just want to get crazy. There's a lot of options in this game, and the only issue with it is there's just not, it's most of the interesting bits come in this game in doing weird physical things on the board to block your string manipulation or to make your opponents do weird things. There's very obvious strategic decisions to be made every turn because it's draw one and place it. There's no like, oh, I draw and then I get to place one of my few stations. So it's less interesting to me in that regard, but from an interesting gameplay mechanics standpoint, this is a lot of fun, which is one of the reasons it stays in the collection, because it's one of those games where there's always somebody that hasn't played it, and so I will pull it out because from a board game, tabletop game thing, it's a good enough game for the novelty of it that I feel is worth keeping. Would I go out and buy this game again after playing it at somebody's house? Probably not. There you go. But I believe we bought this in France because I found it in France, didn't we?
Yep.
Yep. This is another France game. I think we came home from our Europe trip with more board games than clothes, so that would be... Yep. Mr. Jack. Mr. Jack is a newer addition. Actually, no, he's not really a newer addition to our collection. Mr. Jack I got in a math trade. I picked it up at Gen Con, but I got it in a math trade. It's a 2-player game designed by Bruno Cathallo and Ludovic Malblanc. and it's a game where one player plays Jack and one player plays the police trying to figure out who Mr. Jack is. And it's a deduction game with some movement stuff, some hidden stuff. Steve and I have played it one full game now, which means we've taken turns playing both sides of the table, and I really enjoyed it, and I am looking forward to playing it again. It's a 2-player game, 30 minutes, 9 and up. Yeah, this will probably be featured in our 2-player game series. Look, this is the first board game box we packed, so we were like, oh yeah, we'll only have to pack however many boxes. Because, and then we tried to lift this thing and it was just like, nope, not gonna happen. Ascension! This is actually Ascension Storm of Souls. The game box size is smaller, and it came with, this is the pack that came with the box and the sleeves. So I sleeved it because I like Ascension, and then I wrote the stuff in here, so I don't even need the rule book anymore. I like Ascension. Ascension is a deck builder that I really do enjoy, and if it weren't for its app version, which exists on iOS or Android, I would actually play the card game more than I do. But because there is an app, there's not really a reason for me to own this anymore, which is a tragedy. So, while I do love Ascension, it is a great deck building game, and you should check out my review, which, you know, link on the box or click on the box or down below. I hold on to this copy in case I ever need to play it in real life again, but I've held on to this copy with that comment and decision for like 3 years now. So yeah, they just did too good of a job making an app. If you want to play Ascension, there's a bunch of people that play online. Just if you're on Twitter, tweet out, and I'm sure people will come and play with you. Next up, Blueprints. Blueprints is designed by Yves Torini. It's a dice game where the dice are not rolled frequently. It's a dice game where you are building towers using dice. And while the number on the dice face is important, it's not as important as what color the dice is, because the way that you get points in Blueprints is during the game you will build 3 buildings based on blueprints that are cards. And you get more points for building with certain building material types. So yeah, it's 2 and up, or 2 to 4 players. And it's about a 30-minute game. Steve and I, for a while there, we had a lot of dice games that we owned, specifically Cubist. The video stopped.